Okay, welcome to the Swedish Gaming Dudes. My name is Johan.
I am John.
And I'm Justin.
Hey, welcome back, Justin.
Thank you.
Faithful guest to the podcast.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure to be here.
Nice, nice. And welcome to our recap of the gaming year 2024. So today's episode we will be discussing our favorite games of the year, or least favorite perhaps also, and also our predictions for the coming year now, new game releases for 2025 and so on.
Yeah.
But first, what have you guys been playing? John, what are you playing at the moment?
Yeah, well, I had to just, put that on the shelf, the Mega Man 8 game. It was just, so frustrating with the checkpoint system. If you would die somewhere at a level, so I just figured, let's play something else instead. So right now I'm going for Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown.
Oh yeah,
which is actually from last year, 2024.
Yeah,
it's an amazing game, Metroidvania style, and it really feels like it has a balanced difficulty, and it always feels like it gives you a chance. Whether you die or screw up, it feels like it's on you pretty much every single time. It doesn't feel unfair. So I really love that sense, and I love how you explore everything, and it's a very good kind of a game in its genre.
Yeah, I've read very good things about it. I have to try it.
Yeah, definitely, I think so.
Yeah, I have a soft spot for Metroidvania games, so I have to try it.
Oh yeah, they're amazing. Love them.
Yeah. Justin, how about you?
I've gone back to Tears of the Kingdom. I started 2024 with it, and I will end 2024 with it.
Oh yeah.
How close are you to 100% completion?
Somewhat, I think. I decided to do as many shrines as possible before doing the main quest with the sages.
Yeah.
So I think I have 8 shrines left, and I'm halfway through the depth or something.
Okay, yeah, like the Underdark,
exactly.
Yeah, it's huge. It's huge.
Wow.
And now you're like you're forced to do some of the story.
I will be.
Yeah.
But I won't do any of these crazy 999 of every item runs. Some people
not a completionist run.
No, not a really 100%.
Okay.
I'm gonna get all the Korok seeds.
Yeah,
I have 400 left or so.
Cool.
Oh yeah.
Cool.
Wow.
I have a friend. She played it a lot. I think she's up until 99.4 or something like that. It's insane. She's done every shrine, like found every Korok and things like that. And still there are some tiny things missing. Like I don't think she knows what it is, but it's hard to do like 100% of that game.
Really
it's very hard.
Oh yeah.
But it's a classic. It's
such a. For having a map that's so small, or with today's standards small, it's really big. They do a very much with very little space.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
Yeah, it's a very cool game. Very cool game. I've gone back to a classic as well, Resident Evil 8, actually, Village. I really like that game, and I haven't played it in a long while, so it has this sort of fairy tale, Brothers Grimm feel to it, very different from other entries in the series. But I really like it, like the story, like the different locations and villains, and like it's also like an homage to the 4th game. It was released before the 4th remake, but it's I really enjoy it, the feel of the game, and you can now switch to first person or third person if you want to play it like that, and it does. And I bought this summer I bought a new TV, and the game looks amazing in 4K on my new Sony TV with HDR and 4K and 120 hertz frames, and it's like amazing. So it's nice to revisit some classics sometimes, and
it really is.
Yeah, I love Resident Evil. It's such a good series. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay, so 2024. Should we start talking about our favorite games from this year? John, do you have a favorite?
Yeah, well, the first one that actually comes to mind was actually that Prince of Persia game, The Lost Crown. I do have them written down. I haven't played that many, to be honest. I got to remind myself which ones were the actual games. Let's see here. there was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
Yeah.
We've talked about that tons of times now, but loved that game. And I haven't tried, like the other ones I've written down here, I have not tried. And I do believe that, Justin, you wrote a list. These games will most likely occur on that list, I believe.
I have a little...
Yeah.
For once, it's me who prepared the list and not John. To see, I'm doing my part.
Oh, yeah.
But to me, Baldur's Gate 3 was hands down the best game of 2024.
Yeah.
That I played 2024.
Yeah.
It's... I saw 184 hours I put in that game before I started my new rerun after the last episode.
Yeah.
Oh.
So, and of course, Final Fantasy Rebirth. It took 90 hours I spent in that game.
Yeah.
70 hours on Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster.
Yeah.
I had to platinum it.
Yeah.
I get that, yeah. It's amazing with those games, Platinum, it feels like it's not easily accessible, but put in the time and you will get it.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that.
Yeah. I have on my list also, I have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, one of those great, reimaginations of this world. I think it's a very impressive world building in that game with graphics and like taking what you saw like when the original came out and just you couldn't imagine the graphics being that good that we're playing today, and the way the world comes alive in the remake, I think it's very impressive. And also the characters, like realizations, they feel so alive.
They're very fleshed out.
Yeah, and I think it uses that time well. I think for me, the only thing that's holding me back from that game, like this perfect 10 out of 10 or something, is I think it does a little bit too much with the story, like changing it with this like multiverse thing. I don't think the story needs that. I think you could just have stuck to the original story, like deepen the characters as it does very well, but I don't think you need all that story threads and different realities and different possibilities. What if this happened or this happened like that? I think it gets a little bit too convoluted, and especially at the ending of that game, which is supposed to be very emotional, and it just doesn't do that any favor. It just misses that mark at the end, I think. But besides that, it's one of the most polished games I've ever played. It's so good. It feels so good to play. Perhaps a little bit too many mini games that we talked about well.
Yeah, definitely.
But some of them are well made. I think, like Chocobo Racing, I really enjoyed. But it's one of the year's best for me also. And also, I have been playing also a lot of Baldur's Gate 3. I remember about it last year at Christmas time, basically, for a little bit more cheaper. But I played it, and I cheated the hell out of it with mods on PlayStation 5 because like this battle system is not for me really. I'm for more like action, like The Witcher, for example, that sort of action gameplay. So just being able to cheat that and just see all the different ways you can take the characters and the story, it's so impressive. It's such a rich world and also amazing characters, and the music is all so good. So Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing as well. Yeah.
Nice.
You have to play it, John.
You have to play John. Yeah.
I should. Is it like is the story somehow tied to the first two games, or is it like individual stories per game?
Individual. There are some recurring characters, or two or three, I think.
Sure.
But it's complete standalone story-wise. And it's really choose your own adventure. There's so many different endings and so many different paths to the ending.
Yeah.
So we're thinking about what you said about Rebirth with all these side stories.
Yeah.
You went in a Final Fantasy Rebirth, but Baldur's Gate or Until Dawn wise, where you can actually have different endings.
Exactly. Yeah, I think that's different. Yeah, when you can feel you're in control. I think that was so cool with Baldur's Gate, that you can feel like you have this character, and you feel like a companion, and you can take that character through like choices, like I want this character to go completely evil and basically want to take over the world. You can do those like choices for that character, sort of manipulating the way, or you can take the other route, like do better, you can be a better person, and there's power and everything. It's not the most important thing in the world, and like more with friendship, and it's such a cool way that you can actually turn that sort of character development. It's not that common. I mean, it's been done a bit before. Like I think the first time I experienced that was Knights of the Old Republic, that old Star Wars game for Xbox. I played it many years ago, but that was very cool because Star Wars has this, you know, natural light and dark side with the Force, and they implemented that in that game as well in a very good way. I also played old game, but Jade Empire, also a very good also with we're taking place in this fantasy Japanese world with magic and things, but it also have like different characters and different ways you can go full good or full dark, but it's such a fun way to also keep you engaged with the party members, and so many surprises happening, like you think you're doing certain choices and then some have completely different consequences. It's a very cool way to develop a game. So yeah, Baldur's Gate, I completely understand why so many people like you just like so many hours invested in that game. It's incredible. It's an incredible game.
I like those games in general where you aren't necessarily the good character or the bad character. There's a huge gray zone in the middle. Yeah. Those kind of, as in Baldur's Gate. Was it in Knights of the Old Republic where they added the gray Force user? I don't know what they would call them, the middle line. Yeah,
I think at least in the second game somewhat, I think. Because they were calling them like this, we have Jedi, the good side, and dark side is this Sith, but you can be something else. You don't have to apply to that rules, for example. So, yeah. But it's a very cool game. Very cool game.
Nice. That's good. How was it? There was like one of these. What was it? What is it? What is that called when there is a competition that's not really a competition? Winning game, something. Baldur's Gate 3.
Game Awards.
Game Awards.
Yeah, exactly. Game Awards. Yeah.
There was something about that, right? Did they win the overall kind of category, or
they
was
got
it
the Grand Slam? I think they got 7 awards.
Yeah, I think they took everything. Yeah,
nice.
I think it was one category they were nominated in that they didn't win. But they took Game of the Year. I think they took music.
Yeah, I think they took a lot of. And was it that year? Yeah, it was last year. Thinking about Alan Wake, I really loved Alan Wake 2, and that also won for like best narrative. And best, because I'm
gonna look it up.
Yeah, I can look it up. I remember Sam Lake, the creative director of Alan Wake, won 2 prizes there. I remember. Yeah.
Wow.
Game of the Year from the BAFTA, they got Game of the Year. Game of the Year for multiplayer, performance, best role playing. They got players vote. GLAAD got them for outstanding video game, best community support, and there's a lot more awards. They really took everything they could.
But they also had like this good company that now they're going to release more patches for the game this year, and also new classes for characters, I think.
For Baldur's Gate.
Yeah, for Baldur's Gate, yeah. And it's free. It's not like this, like one of the big flops this year, this Star Wars Outlaws game. I didn't play it, and I'm a huge Star Wars fan, but I didn't have an interest in it because it was so like this corporate feel to it that it was very expensive to buy like the standard edition, and then if you want every side quest you have to have this super golden amazing edition or something, and it's almost 2,000 crowns for that, and it's like no, I won't buy that. That's just so just to milk the fans of their money. I'm so against that, and I think that turned away a lot of people. So it flopped. Many people didn't buy it. So
That's
now,
understandable.
yeah, I think they don't have respect for the player, and the player feels that. So now it's very cheap, I think, on the like online stores, and I think they changed a lot of the gameplay because there was a lot of stealth that didn't work, and now I think you can play it like you want to play it, basically. But yeah, I do like Lyrian Studios made Baldur's Gate. Like, listen to the fans, respect the fans. What do they want, and what do they want to have patches now for PS5 that I was looking forward to play it, like just having fun with it. And like there's new classes, they're still like updating it, and everything is free. You don't have to buy like extra quests or anything. Like, no, you bought it once, you have the entire game. Oh, thanks. like it used to be, you know. So I think that's very important.
Right.
Yeah. John, any other favorites you've been playing this year?
Yeah, well, there have been games, but not created in 2024. So there's that.
Yeah.
But you played them in 2024, so they qualify for the episode.
Yeah.
I did actually take the Platinum Trophy on the, so to speak, first Astrobot game. That came pre-installed onto the PS5.
Yeah.
And, well, let's see here. There was something that I played. I'm trying to, think about exactly which games that I have played, but I can't find them in the PlayStation app because I haven't fired up the Xbox, I haven't fired up the Nintendo Switch for a while, and I stopped playing Mega Man.
Yeah.
So there was that. So yeah, I did actually buy this Time Splitters on PlayStation Store, the first and the second one. It was 30 SEK a piece, and they're supposed to be really good. I remember they were on PlayStation 2, GameCube, and Xbox Original. And I had one beloved friend of mine back in school who had the second game. We played a lot of multiplayer from the second game. And I never played through the stories of those ones, so I really feel enticed to start playing them. I don't remember what year they were actually created, but it could have been somewhere around 2002 or 3 maybe, I don't even know.
Yeah, I think we talked about that yesterday, John, that it was the same like developers that made GoldenEye and Perfect Dark for the original ones for Nintendo 64 that sort of made a new game company and developed to like new FPS games like that. First-person shooters.
That's good.
So it was good. It was before Halo, so people were still like yearning for a good multiplayer shooter experience on console, like on newer hardware, So I remember we played that with friends, Time Splitters in multiplayer. I didn't enjoy it as much as Perfect Dark. That's still my favorite, but it was still fun to play. I remember, just with the graphics and Perfect Dark, I love it, but the original, it has so much lag for the poor little Nintendo 64. It can't keep up with the graphics if you're 4-player split screen, and if you're adding bots to it. I mean, it's so slow. I think it's 10 frames or something at best. It's horrible to play. So, but I really enjoyed the Perfect Dark on Xbox, like this Rare Collection, because that's in 4K 120 frames now. So now it's the way you're supposed to play it.
It was exactly like that. It feels like, what if you could inform and show the actual creators of that game how it would perform on an Xbox Series X compared to a Nintendo 64, because they would be so blown away. That would be so
I was
amazing.
mind blown because I'm such a big fan of the original game, and I was like, yes, this is the way it's supposed to be. Like, you can play it like this. You can have tons of bots and with friends, and of course no lag whatsoever, just perfect. So it's really enjoying that. So it would be cool actually to revisit Time Splitters, as you say, maybe see some DNA for like upcoming first-person shooter games and stuff like that.
All right. And also, now I got to think about this. This is not really tied together to 2024, but the other day I did get an email from PlayStation saying like one of my points, a certain amount of points from PlayStation Stars is about to expire. And so I figured, okay, those points you can actually use for, downloading certain games. And of course, you need a whole lot of points. It's about between 7,000, 12,000, somewhere around that. And it had almost 3.
They added back the option for the wallet funds. So 1,250 points, you can get 50 Swedish kronor on the PlayStation Store as credit. They removed it for a while, and there was a huge backlash from the players. But why should we? I don't care about the digital collectibles you can see in the PlayStation app. That's the whole reason we joined the Stars program, was that play enough, you get a little kickback. So check that one out.
Cool. I should definitely have done that. Like, I did see some of these in-store currencies that you could get. But it was like close towards 100 SEK at the least, it looked like on the screen when I looked. But I did take a look at the games, and there was this game that just sounded way too funny. I know that it was going to be sort of a bad game, but in a funny way. So it's called Squirrel with a Gun.
I like it already.
Sold.
It is like exactly what it looks like, because there's this squirrel. The graphics are they really look like they're somewhat ambitiously created. It actually looks sort of good, not AAA quality, but not that far away from there. I guess the physics, it could be quite buggy, but at least it looks kind of good according to this trailer that I looked at. And it just looks like this, squirrel that's, it's grabbing whatever oversized weapon and starts firing off at whatever person that just walks by.
Sounds like a GTA Squirrel edition.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much. So I'm going to look forward to play that.
One of my favorite games this year was just recently released, actually, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle for Xbox. It was really good. I'm a big fan of the old Indiana Jones movies, grew up with them, and was sort of like cautiously optimistic for this one. Saw the trailer and like, maybe. But I was very pleasantly surprised. It's a very good Indiana Jones game, combining like this adventure feeling. You're in different locations around the world. Lots of like puzzle solving, but also like fighting with your bare hands, just like Indiana Jones. And like in the movies, like the sound effects are very like exaggerated when he hits and stuff like that. So it's very cool, and a great story with great villain, way better than like the last 2 movies, like the more newer ones. Like they should just skip those, never made those, I think. But it really captures the Indiana Jones feeling, and it was on Game Pass, so it's like free if you have Game Pass, just to try it out. But it's really, really good, I think. So top recommendation if you want a good Indiana Jones game. It's really fun. Has sort of that Uncharted feeling. Of course, Uncharted are based on Indiana Jones and like Tomb Raider and stuff like that. But it really feels like this new indie adventure. I really like it. Really, good characters, good. Like also like like side quests, not so you have linear missions, but also like more open world sort of areas where you can do side quests and take part in like fighting like boxing matches to earn some money, and you like evolve Indy as a character, like skill books, hit harder or like heal faster or eat more food. You eat food for stamina and stuff like that. But it's fun. It's not too much. Like sometimes you have too many things you have to think about, but you don't. It's mostly like bonuses when you're out and like doing things. It's a really good adventure game, Indiana Jones. Really good. Yeah.
Nice. I was curious about that list that you wrote, Justin.
For 2024 or 2025?
2024.
Yeah.
Figured maybe I've
start
played through a game.
That, yeah.
The Spider-Man 2, but that was also released 2023, or was it early 24?
Oh,
it does feel like it's 2024 actually.
Yeah, for me it feels like that, but yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I haven't played that one, but I really got my eye on that one. I actually checked the price on PlayStation Store, like like a month back or something like that, but it was just way too expensive. So I figured, I'll wait with that.
I have it on the disc, so you can borrow it.
It would be amazing.
It's really good, and it looks amazing on the PS5.
Yeah.
It's a huge upgrade from the first Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4. It looks really, really amazing. It's good gameplay and a good story.
I have to play it. I really liked the first one, and then I didn't play like the Miles Morales because I have to play it also. So I just haven't started with the second one because I feel like I have to get back to. I actually want to play the first one again on PS5 because they enhanced it for the PS5, and I really liked that one. I took Platinum on it, and it was like just a villain with Doc Ock, and like he's evolving to this villain where he starts like really good like character like development and really fun gameplay the first. So I want to play that again, and then Miles Morales just to get into that, and then the second one. So I have to have some homework to do to get to the second part, but I really want to play it. The first one was incredible, I think.
Nice.
Then I'll bring the Miles Morales disc for you.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, perfect. Perfect.
Yeah, that one was actually good. I played through Miles Morales, having borrowed it from you, Justin.
Yeah.
And I remember it just felt like it was amazingly, it was, concise to the point where it's like, it's not by any means too long. And it feels like it's packed with things to do. It feels like it gives the open world feel, and there are side quests and challenges. It feels like it's the perfect Spider-Man game, but shrunk down. Yeah. And I love that feel of it.
Yeah,
it was like a big-ish expansion.
Yeah, first. I was going to ask that. It's not so big. Like the game, is it like 10 hours? Like Miles Morales, is it, or longer? Is it?
I believe it was shorter.
A little bit shorter.
Shorter than 10 hours, right?
Probably longer for me, but that's because I enjoyed just swinging around town, looking at stuff, see how many tricks can I do while swinging. So.
That was such a cool feeling in the first one also, just swinging around the city and like finding some landmarks and stuff like that. I was in New York City many years ago, and I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, so I went to visit this fire station where they have their base, Ghostbusters. My dad was like, oh, don't you want to go to this Guggenheim Museum or stuff? No. I want to go to the Ghostbusters firehouse instead. Like, it's way more important. But I actually found that in Spider-Man as well. Yeah. The fire station is in Spider-Man, and I think there's like a ghost graffiti on the backside of the building or something like that. Oh. So just a fun. But it was like this cool experience if you've been to New York and just having this simulated version of it. It's like perfect simulation almost. Very cool. And I think the second game, probably even better.
Yeah.
I have to play those.
Yeah. They're really well made.
Amazing. I would still say that even I've only played, Spider-Man 1 from 2018 it was on the PlayStation 4, and then Miles Morales on the PlayStation 5, and I remember those ones are the best Mega Man games ever created because I've always wanted that. The feel of it, I've always wanted it to have the freedom from the open world sense and the controls. Everything is just spot on. All other kinds of Spider-Man games just come short.
Yeah, I ever played the Spider-Man 2 on the PS2.
It
was really.
I never.
It was almost as rude to be as good as it was.
Yeah, I know that has a huge a cult following. I have never played it, so why I don't know. But I know many people look at it as this perfect Spider-Man.
Yeah, it was definitely until Spider-Man 2018. It was hands down the best Spider-Man game ever.
I can agree to that definitely.
Yeah,
cool. Yeah. Oh yeah, I have to play the second one. I really like it. Yeah. Oh.
Great.
Then we have the Game of the Year 2024.
Yeah.
That a lot of controversy. People said since it's a platformer, it can't win. Astrobot.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the new game.
Have you played it?
No, it's on my list. I just dug into Indiana Jones instead. But I want to play it. My brother plays it and he loves it. It feels like this, almost like when Mario comes out with a great game, Mario Galaxy or Mario Odyssey, something like the same feeling. Like it's just so much fun to play. It's pure joy. So I really want to play it. Have you played it, Justin?
Yeah, Platinum.
Yeah, Platinum. Yeah, of course, of course. Yeah. Is it as good as they say? Yeah.
Yeah, it really is. I was not surprised when it won Game of the Year.
Yeah. That's nice.
It was really well designed levels and all these PlayStation Easter eggs, where you play as a mini Kratos from God of War.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, because you're like searching for different robots basically, and everybody is like a PlayStation character almost like.
Yeah, there's a lot of them are like cameos from different from. I think there's some from Devil May Cry and there's Horizon and God of War.
Yeah.
And so it's amazingly many. So lots that I didn't recognize because I haven't played those games. 100 something PlayStation bots, so to speak. Besides the generic Astrobot bots. Well designed levels, very fun. So easy enough for kids to enjoy it, but some extra levels are challenging and very unforgiving. So there's a huge range of difficulty in the levels. So I can highly recommend it.
Cool.
I say I wasn't surprised that it took the Game of the Year award.
Oh, cool. Yeah, and I want to play it so much. I'm guessing there's Metal Gear Solid characters as well.
Of course.
Yeah, of course. Oh, now I really have to play it.
And I think Silent Hill as well.
Cool. Yeah, I have to play it. Yeah.
Well worth. People say it's very short, but somewhat short. But I think it was 10-15 hours to get the platinum. But I still think, even though it was $60, I still think it was worth the money.
Yeah.
Nice.
It was really well made.
Yeah, that's a very important thing. I feel like it's the experience, even if it's 10 hours or something, that you really have a good, fun gaming experience. It's so much more worth than like 40 hours of a mediocre game. Why would it be better just because it's longer? Like, you have to have this quality to it. So,
because some games just feel like stretched out.
Yeah, definitely rinse and repeat. Like, okay, there are 5 different areas, and you do the same things, and Gun Gaga.
15 hours. I had to check, so I didn't mix it up with.
But that's good.
The other platformer, I played Lego Horizon Adventures.
Oh, you play that?
Yeah.
Oh yes, platinum.
Oh yeah,
nice.
It was really fun. Don't think it was as much worth the money as Astrobot, and I think you have to be a Horizon fan to really enjoy it. But I think that's the way with all the Lego games. If you don't like Harry Potter, the Harry Potter Lego game will probably not be very fun.
I was late to that party. It was one of my favorite gaming experiences this year. During summer, I played Hogwarts Legacy for the first time. Just a huge... I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan, but it was such a lovingly crafted world. Feels like really going to Hogwarts and the environments and learning the spells and also the nature and the towns around the castle. And I couldn't put it down really. Just I didn't take platinum on it, but I really just couldn't stop playing it for 2 weeks or something. Just absorbing that world. It's such a good game, really.
I felt that it was so repetitive after a while. I platinumed it. But not because I wanted to, but because I wanted a reason to never have to play it again.
We've done everything.
But I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan. I agree, it was very beautiful. The world was really beautiful. So it was well made, but I didn't get... super absorbed into it.
No, and it didn't.
Unfortunately.
And I think going back to what you said about Baldur's Gate, in Hogwarts, you couldn't play this really evil character because you have your own character.
And I tried.
Yeah, you tried to be bad. Yeah.
So I love a scene. I don't think we will. So I don't spoil, even though it's kind of. But there's a scene when you help your best friend. His sister is about to get kidnapped or something. And his parents get get so mad. So, because he threw one of the forbidden curses, so they disowned him. Meanwhile, I was helping him and just throwing the forbidden curses right and left and center. And they say, "Oh, but you're a good person." But we will never speak to him again.
Yeah,
You are okay.
You like killed 20 people, but that's fine. If they make a second one, which I'm guessing they're going to do, it have to be a more like evolved, like this moral system to it, so you can really be like this dark wizard if you want to, or more like a good wizard. It would be cool to have more like that, have it impact the story more, like Baldur's Gate, for example.
Because it felt weird. There was some request when a shopkeeper, I have lost this my precious item.
Yeah.
And when you give it back, you have the option to keep it.
Yeah.
And it's like a family heirloom or something. It's like, oh, no, you naughty, naughty boy.
Yeah.
You leave the store, enter again, and say, oh, hello, my best customer.
Yeah, no, but it's important that your character and choices have an impact on the world. Yeah, that's true.
But I think the game was probably made with people 20-something years younger than us in mind.
Yes,
so I think I might have over-analyzed it a little bit.
Do you guys have any additional games created in 2024?
But I can say my favorite game, if I want to say my favorite for 2024, was Silent Hill 2, the remake. I really, really enjoyed that. I was so skeptical watching the development and the trailers, like the early trailers. It looked very unfinished and like, and was made by this like Bloober team, this Polish game studio that didn't have that big hit behind it or had like proven itself like that. So it's like and Silent Hill 2, I played the original so many times growing up, like so many memories. It's this perfect horror game. But they really did it. It was a really good remake. Like it captured like the original feeling, and it also like deepened the story and like expanded the environments. Some people think maybe the area is a little bit too big now, but I just enjoy like having more to do in it. It's well made. If it's bigger, it's well made. Every part of it, and also going back to like having the same designers from the first game, like evolving like the new characters for the new hardware. And you also have this composer Akira Yamaoka, who like this famous game composer, coming back and like revisiting the soundtrack, just making new additions and new renditions of old songs. And like it's the original game. I think you can complete 7 or 8 hours tops. Like this new game, 20 hours, something like that. Really expanding it and also new acting, and like the second game is famous for this like almost like surreal acting style. This remake has more realistic acting in it, but I think it just serves the story. And just evolving character moments, and boss fights are way more epic in this one, and shifting to this third-person camera. It's such a well-made horror game. It's absolutely horrific. I mean, I feel like I have a lump in my throat when I play it, like tightening in my entire body like that, because it's so scary all the time. But that's the point of it, like this horror experience.
It does its job. It's actually on my list for 2025 games after the last episode we did. That and Resident Evil Village.
No, so that was my favorite experience of this year, because and so much nostalgia, of course, for the second game, but just playing this really well-crafted remake, such a nice treat as a gamer. My favorite.
Do you have any additional games that you really cherish from 2024 that you played?
Not that we haven't talked to. So the Metroid Prime Remaster was released 2024, right?
Was that 2024? Yeah, I did play that.
Yeah. Because that's on my list, on the my short list of the Switch games. That one was really good.
Really good.
Oh yeah, I did remember. Like, did you say that you haven't played it yet?
Oh, I have played it.
Oh yeah, and you have played it also, right?
Oh yes, I completed it on the hardest difficulty and unlocked everything. I couldn't stop playing it. I loved it the first time it came on GameCube. And this, as you say, remastered, just playing it with more modern controls. You can just basically have more like a first-person shooter control now, so it's so fluid to play. And also like the small but like significant graphics improvements. And it's so good. And like every boss fight, everything. It's a masterpiece. It's one of the best games ever made, I would say. I couldn't stop playing it, and now it's in handheld also. You could take it everywhere if you want to. I was going on traveling for work when the morning it was released. I was going to Stockholm, so I just downloaded it during breakfast at home. Just come on, download like that, so I could take it on the train, and I just spent the whole train ride playing Metroid Prime. It's such an amazing game, and also seeing Samus with that graphic, especially in the ending, she removes her helmet. I think it's one of the best facial models in a Nintendo game ever. It's more like realistic Samus, not like more like the anime style perhaps in Smash or like those. It's just like it's such a gorgeous game, and it's perfect. The soundtrack's perfect and just plays way better than the original. The original was very good with this lock-on system, but I really like, and you still have it here, but I really enjoyed like this, the first-person dual stick control you can use for it. Such a good game.
That was so well implemented.
Yeah.
The controls and the visuals, I love everything about that game.
Yeah.
And the original was amazing. It scared me to death with all these Metroids attaching to your face.
Yeah. I'm hoping they will release the second and third also Prime, because the fourth one is coming now, perhaps
2025.
I guess it's coming.
Said it's 2025.
Yeah.
We'll see.
It would be a nice flagship for the new Switch console, I think.
Yeah.
Perfect for that.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking forward to it, and I also hope to release the second and third game.
I think there's rumors that they will.
I hope
nothing confirmed yet.
And maybe tweak the difficulty on the second game, because that was more unforgiving, and you're like in this dark world, a light world, and in the dark world you're constantly being damaged, and like it was more like intense and dark, like purposely. But I think Metroid also has that part that you just want to explore the world and take in the environment and the feeling. And the second one missed that, but the third one is really good as well. You visit different planets and lots of action, and it's such a good trilogy. I hope they will release them also.
Yeah, that would be amazing. I did double check. Metroid Prime Remastered came in 2023 in February.
Oh, it was the tree. Oh my god. No. We're getting old.
But I figured like that. It was a long time since I played it, so I could not really recall exactly which year it was released. But nonetheless, an amazing game, and that is the definite version of the game. Like it really felt like back in the day, all of that, the textures visually, it just felt like this needs an HD treatment.
And it's perfect also for this widescreen now, newer TVs like that. It's such a good, and such a fun thing with the visor in that game, that you can see the reflection of Samus during different, and you get it all like foggy and rainy, and like it's such a cool idea.
And there's also those small details that really takes it to the next level.
Definitely. Like for brief moments you might feel like, the Switch is more powerful than it is.
Exactly.
I love that feeling of it. I don't have any more games from 2024 that I actually like that much, but I do have one game in particular that I did definitely not like as much, and it's definitely a heavy disappointment. So definitely the question is, should we get into that kind of thing right now, talking about the negative stuff?
Let's start bashing.
Bash away, y'all.
So The Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
Yeah, you didn't like that. I haven't played it, but I know you didn't like it.
It felt like as a game as a whole, it's a good game, but it has major flaws. And according to what I feel about it, it's definitely not an appropriate Zelda game.
And I agree.
So there's that. I feel like, first of all, I'm belonging to those kinds of people who like Zelda games being linear ones. There can be open world segments, but not the game as a whole. And this one is definitely more open world. And you can definitely tell that it's the same creation team that made Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, due to the fact that you have all these echoes that you come across during your gameplay, and you add more and more to your roster, or should I say your selection of echoes that you can recreate. Arsenal, exactly. And so it feels like there's kind of a new thing that they've added to a Zelda game, but they have done that poorly, and it just felt like as you have these enemies fighting by your side, you don't really need to do jack shit anymore.
No, you just throw them out and wait. There was a lot of waiting in that game.
But isn't that also in that game that if you want to have like more like a Link sort of character with a sword or something, that you can get that as a power up or something for a short while? Like
you get that, and it's a very, very short time.
Yeah. Because like if you want to make a Zelda game, why don't you make her more like this sort of powerful, more like adventurous sort of character? It feels a little bit like strange. Then you have to recall Link just to get that. Like sort of action parts.
Why can't Zelda wield a sword?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's strange sort of take on it, I think.
And this, I don't know how long ago it was released. I think the spoiler.
It was like September.
Yeah, something like that.
If you haven't played it, skip ahead a few minutes. Then, in the last fight when Link joins you. So that's the climatic. This is what I have been working on for hours, is to defeat this boss. Yeah. And you become a support character for Link.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So I should just use my powers to hold this thing in place while Link bashes it. It was so disappointing.
Yeah, such a strange thing to do. Like, why turn over all that power to an NPC, like in that game, when Zelda finally gets her own game? It's such a strange design choice.
I would love to run around with Zelda as a sword. As Zelda with a sword and bash things. Especially if Ganon had been there. Bash him. You have kidnapped me 1,000,000 times. Time for revenge.
Exactly. Which just reminds me, I do believe that there was this other game that was dedicated to Peach. And she got her own game, but it's like she changes clothes depending on what she's doing and the task at hand. It feels a little bit like, oh yeah, this is a little bit, sexist, because that is a little bit what I feel with women can't use swords, right? Of course they can.
Look at Samus.
Exactly.
Just a few years ago, one of the most badass video games character, in my opinion.
Because now it's better now, but just a couple of years ago we didn't have like this Metroid Prime remake or Metroid Dread or anything like that, and it was like you have one of the most badass characters ever, and you don't do anything with her. Well, what's your problem? Like it's so strange. But I'm glad it's shifting now, like we said, with Metroid Prime 4 next year and a couple of new good Metroid games. But it's such a strange choice. And I mean, like, for now, next year, but a couple of years ahead, we're having the new Witcher game, for example, and now Ciri is the main character, for example.
And so many people got butthurt. Have you played the third game? The ending, everything in the ending of Witcher 3 is like a huge setup for Ciri will take over. It's like the whole point with the ending, almost the whole game is that Ciri is becoming a Witcher.
And I think like Geralt maybe also will be playable to some extent, or maybe just as a supporting character. But I feel like almost for the fans they have to do something that want to play more with Geralt, but we're also getting a remake of the first Witcher game, I think, a couple of years maybe. But it's also like a remake with Geralt. So Nintendo has something to. Have to rethink what to do with some of the characters.
Make a real Zelda game, not a Zelda supporting Link.
Exactly.
Call it The Legend of Link and have Zelda as the main character. That would be amazing. That would be
it's Link's turn to be kidnapped.
Why not? It would be so cool.
There was this aspect as well when it comes to that Zelda game specifically, when it comes to these echoes, how they're listed in this vertical list.
Oh, that was so annoying.
And it's like you can sort it by type and how frequently you use it and stuff like that. But it's like it becomes a very long list. And you can easily go through them, but it takes like maybe 20 seconds to go from the leftmost point to the rightmost point. And it's just so annoying. But otherwise it's kind of okay using it. It's just you really have to get used to spending so much time and really spending brain activity on finding the specific thing that you like to have. Because I figured when it comes to the platforming sections, I love to either use, like, there was a long tree that you could step on top of. There was, these boxes and...
so a lot of beds in
boxes.
Yes, boxes
too, of course,
but
yeah.
also beds. Like I
The
saw it
bed
on
is overpowered.
Yeah, I saw that on YouTube. Like people are like building things, bridges, and everything with beds, basically.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, you can skip a lot of things with the bed echo.
And you can even sleep in the beds, regenerating health.
Okay.
There's that, but there was I really loved this idea that they had this water blocks that you could just dive right into and stack them on top of one another and swim up to newer heights. It's just so amazing. Like once you have gone further into the game, you can have several blocks on top of one another, not just two.
Okay.
So you can really get up higher, and it's just like, it becomes really much of a simple breeze to platform.
Thinking about Tears of the Kingdom, when Link can go through upside just everything. Like
Ascend.
I think some of the Ascend. Yeah, I think some of the powers they have in that game started as like test developer tools, basically for the game, because they were checking for bugs and stuff, and they just gave it to the player basically as abilities. Such a cool idea, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I have to try it sometimes, that Zelda game. I just want to have the impression myself of it, but I just haven't felt like, I have to play it. I just didn't feel that for it.
No.
So
I guess felt right.
Yeah, it didn't hook me with the thing, and I'm very open to a Zelda game with Zelda. Maybe you just give the character a bigger chance, a better game, better adventure than that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was a good idea, but a bit of a swing and a miss.
Yeah,
definitely.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I'm curious about your games of 2024 that you did not like as much, if you have one specific.
I have. I played this new Dragon Age game. This fantasy.
The
Veilguard. Yeah. I got it for free, thank God. So I didn't have to pay for it because I really like the first and third Dragon Age game. Also feels like a little bit like this Baldur's Gate we talked about. With you have your crew and this character developments and this. Fantasy world, dark fantasy world, but this Veilguard feels like they've been through a Fortnite filter or something, and it's very like childish in a way, and more like for younger gamers, and all this dark, brooding, bloody feeling the older games had is just vanished, and it's such a weird thing, and all the character models are very cartoony, and the other three games had more like realistic graphics and more like darker tone and like this bloody grittiness to it, and this game is just like a Disney movie based on like the other games. So I played it a little bit, gotten a little bit into it, but I don't think I will finish it. I have to respect my time more. I think it was a big disappointment. I got it for free just to try it out, but it's like, no, it's not for me. I think they ruined the formula, and I think it started out becoming a different kind of game in the beginning, like this pay to win sort of almost like a Fortnite sort of game, like this multiplayer thing, and then it went to certain design choices and different leadership, I think, for the game, and now it's just this nothingness. It's just like every old school Dragon Age fan is disappointed in it. Like it doesn't feel like Dragon Age. It's so cartoony. It's so it doesn't have that grit to it, you know. So that was a big disappointment for me.
I've read a lot of mixed reviews.
Yeah,
but some have given them 8 out of 10. Someone gives them 2 out of 10.
Yeah. So it wasn't for me. I really enjoyed the first and third game. Came back to third game a couple of years ago during the pandemic. Was home a lot from work because of that, and just went fully into Dragon Age 3, and it's such a great game still good graphics, still good story with getting this gang together, and you have your fortress and everything like that. It's such a cool game, but this new one is it's nothing to compare to that. Such a downgrade.
That's sad.
So that was sad, but what you gonna do?
Yeah.
I don't think, besides from Echoes of Wisdom, I can't think of another game that I've played that's been really disappointing. But I think I've become a bit more selective. So if I start playing a game and after 1 hour I say, this isn't fun, so why should I keep playing it? And I think also thanks to Baldur's Gate taking up so much of my gaming time, I didn't have time to play as many games this year.
Wow, yeah, that definitely makes sense. I gotta think like the same way these days, because I figured, well, I do have a lot of spare time. I don't have enough spare time to just run through one game within 2 weeks. It feels like I need at least like 2 or 3 months sometimes. And that would be like if I don't handle any more Final Fantasy games or RPGs. So I have a huge backlog, so I definitely should be more selective of the games that I play, making sure that if I don't enjoy them within an hour, lay them on the shelf or something like that.
Yeah, I think it's probably for the better.
Yeah.
Because it's 1 hour, so, fine. But when you play a game for 15 hours, this is still not fun. No. Why am I doing this?
Yeah, and I hate it for, as I said, this like Dragon Age, I got it for free, like a code for it, but a couple of years ago this Callisto Protocol was released, and it was a horrible game. It was some of the same developers for Dead Space, which I really enjoyed, but this was like this sort of punch out in space, basically. You're dodging enemies and hitting them, and the story was horrible. The controls was like the slowest character ever, like a fridge. You're controlling a fridge, basically. And it was such a big disappointment for me, that game. But I downloaded it and I paid for it. So I said, okay, I will finish it once just to see it through, But I'm never going to touch it again afterwards. Such a disappointment. My brother bought it physically, and he actually sold it after tried a couple of hours. And then, as you said, it's important to respect your time if you want to spend it with good games. Not those like, come on.
Speaking of really bad games, that we talked about a few episodes ago, the Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance game.
Yeah.
I kind of bashed a little.
Yeah.
They have closed it down. They pulled it from the PlayStation Store.
Oh,
they have stopped it, so that game is no more.
Okay. Did you get a refund for it? Or it's
no, unfortunately not.
No.
That's sad. Yeah.
I bought the disc version, and it had a code for the DLC, so you should enter in the PlayStation Store. But the code didn't work so for some reason. Now it's too late to try again. But I was, what a loss.
But we had that game, was it Concord? I didn't play it, but it was also on PlayStation 5, this shooter.
I heard about it.
Yeah, the one that basically got
cancelled for like after 2 weeks or something. It cost so much money, and then they just cancelled it and offered refunds to everyone because no one was playing it. It didn't perform well. Everybody was this crap, and it's cost like hundreds of millions of dollars to make, and it wasn't very good. And so people was complaining, and nobody played it, so just took it back and just here's your money back, basically. So
I feel so sad for the guys and girls who worked on it. A friend who's a developer, and he said, that's 8 years of their life.
Just gone.
That is just down the drain. And it's apparently fairly common that you get a bonus depending on how well the game does.
Oh, okay.
So work on something for 8 years, and then it just canned. It must suck so hard.
In some way, even as I said, the game should still be available in some way, as you say, because out of respect of the work, and then also they worked hard to make this game. Maybe it didn't make that much money, but it's still something out there. But as I say, it's just about the money, everything, and everybody's hoping to be the new Fortnite or Overwatch or something like that. Just hoping for that hit, and then when it doesn't come, so okay, cancel it like that.
Yeah, because that segment of the market is so hard to get into now. You have the classics like Call of Duty and Battlefield. Now we have Fortnite. So the FPS multiplayer genre. I think it's really hard to actually get a hold of a piece of that market, because the ones that are out there are just so how we say, cemented.
Yeah, they're so established.
Settled.
Established, a better word.
Yeah.
So it's hard to try to knock them down. I mean, it's like World of Warcraft in the it was around 2010s, where there were so many Age of Conan got released, and the Final Fantasy 11.
Yeah,
so then everybody was, oh, this will be the World of Warcraft killer.
Yeah,
this will
true.
be the, that wasn't the one. This will be the one. World of Warcraft is 20 years now and still going strong.
That's insane.
So, well, Final Fantasy 14 has taken a lot of a big share of the market from World of Warcraft in the past couple of years.
Yeah, as I say, Call of Duty as well. We got this new Black Ops 6 was released this autumn, and it was sort of fun. I played it through the campaign. For once they had a campaign, so that was nice. And the multiplayer was okay, but it's like... I don't know. I'm still having more fun going back to playing like Black Ops 3, which is like futuristic and still looks great, that game. It's like 10 years now or something, almost. Wow. But it still looks very good and very fun to play, and more fun with the multiplayer in that game than in the new one, I think. So, sometimes they just release something. I know people worked hard on it, but it's just like... Yeah, we know people are going to buy it anyway, so it's not that much effort into certain things, But this is the sixth one. I felt like they actually made an effort with the story and so on. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
So
maybe I'm interrupting you.
No.
Okay. I just thought of this, like I believe I read the other day. And it feels like I've read this a few times, but this was a new article about the upcoming Switch. It mentioned that before the 31st of March, we should have the announcement.
Yeah, I think we're getting that soon now, after New Year's. I think we're getting an announcement.
There's a gaming... I can't remember which gaming convention, what it's called, in February. And there's a lot of signs pointing to that's when they're gonna reveal it.
Is it like in Köln in Germany?
Dare not say.
They have something in Germany.
Gamescom. I think Gamescom is in the... Might be that they have 2 a year, but I think it's in the autumn. Gamescom in Köln.
But that could be like, so I really don't know. But yeah, it would be amazing to, like, I really just want the news. And I was going to ask you guys, what are you guys hoping for in the new hardware?
Yeah, I mean, having like this power, like even like in PS4 or something like that, but just having that, being able to travel around with that sort of power in your pocket would be very nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Like re-releasing, I would totally buy like these if they're releasing it. They're on the Switch, but like it's on like this cloud gaming, like Resident Evil 2 and 3, the remakes of those. Like having those on handheld, I would buy them immediately just to have them, and looking for like having favorites from the newer, like more powerful generation being available on the Switch would be very cool. But also, I mean, Nintendo, a console is never as good as, I mean, the games determine how good a console is. You can have a very powerful console, but if you don't have any good games on it, it doesn't matter. And I think Nintendo games like Tears of the Kingdom or Mario Odyssey, and like they're using the hardware in such a good and smart way that you're just enjoying the game so much, despite the hardware having limitations. You don't care really, because they're so well developed in that, on that system. So I'm looking forward also to what Nintendo can do with more power for their games, for the next Zelda game, or as we said, Metroid Prime 4, or the next Mario game. A new Mario Kart. I've been playing Mario Kart 8 for almost 10 years now. It would be nice to have a new Mario Kart. I think it still looks pretty good actually, but also with the new power, what you can do with that. So I'm looking forward to what Nintendo can do with that new hardware.
Definitely, yeah. Something specific about the new Switch hardware that you were hoping for?
4K while docked to the TV.
Yeah, 4K.
1080p is getting outdated.
Yes.
And especially considering Metroid Prime 4.
Yeah.
So that's... but it feels unlikely that they wouldn't support 4K.
And they have to do it now, basically.
They will really shoot themselves in the foot if they don't.
Yeah, because that would be like the third machine just going for 1080p, and it feels like console gaming does not implement 1440p because
No.
computer do.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like 4K is the next step if graphics is a priority.
It's in the next step for 10 years. So come on, Nintendo, you have to do it now, basically, I
Definitely.
think.
Yeah.
But I'm also hoping it to be like, but I think it's going to be like backwards compatibility.
Yeah, so that's even confirmed, right?
With
I
the,
think it's
Switch,
confirmed.
It's confirmed.
Yeah, I think.
Or
Yes.
basically confirmed.
It would be nice if older games got some sort of boost on the new system. It's not a given, but it's like on PS5 or on Xbox as well. Like you can play older games with better frame rate, or would be nice to have actually. Yeah.
Sony did a very good job with the PS5 Pro.
Yeah.
The upscaling of some of the games.
Yeah,
So I hope that Nintendo manages to do something similar with the Switch 2.
yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. That would be so amazing. I'm feeling like one of the biggest things that I'm looking forward to with the upcoming Switch 2, whether it be confirmed or not, is actually its processing power, because I'm so sick of slowdowns and low FPS numbers whenever things get heavy.
Yeah.
And a lot of things happening on screen. I haven't had that a lot happening to the Switch, but it feels like, there's this one game in particular, which is Hyrule Warriors, Age of Calamity. It is said that there's one section of the game at least where it's very noticeable, where the gameplay suffers because of slowdown.
Yeah.
It was same in Link's Awakening on Switch as well. That there were big FPS drops sometimes.
Yeah, and like I think almost every time you enter a new area in that game, it's like just for like 2 seconds or something.
Yeah, it's like lagging.
It's
between the
lagging
screens.
for the next environment. Like it's strange. So yeah. And also like Tears of the Kingdom, when you have lots of things on screen happening and what you're building, and I'm so ready for new hardware for Nintendo. It really is time for it now, I think.
Oh yeah.
I learned the other day that Breath of the Wild was actually a Wii U game.
Yeah, it
Oh,
was.
yeah.
It was.
It's a
Yeah.
parallel release.
Yeah.
I had no idea, because I didn't have the Nintendo Wii, didn't have the Wii U, and I got into the Switch somewhat late in the Switch, after the Switch release. So I had no idea. I learned it last week. So it was a Wii U game?
Yeah. It's almost like you had Twilight Princess both on GameCube and on Wii when they released the Wii.
Oh yeah, they did. True.
It just changed. It's so funny because Link is left-handed originally, and because you had a Wii and you had a Wii remote, most people are right-handed, so they didn't know what to do. So they just flipped the entire game on Wii. It's like mirroring the original version, because they wanted to flip Link's hand. I think such a fun thing.
Yeah.
Like what?
But it's a smart way to solve it.
Yeah. Huge game. But I want those released as well. Twilight Princess and Wind Waker on the new system.
Yeah, that would be so amazing.
That would be nice.
Yeah, they have a couple of Zelda games that they could release for the upcoming Switch.
Come on. We got the Skyward Sword. That was fine, but it's not compared to like Wind Waker or... I really like Twilight Princess, but I haven't played it in a very long time. But be playing that on 4K, as we say, or something like that.
There was
Absolutely.
a video of someone who made, I don't remember if it was Majora's Mask or Twilight Princess, where they made it in the Unreal Engine 5.
2005, the fight with Ganondorf.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one was amazing. I waited for so long for that fight to be implemented into an actual game.
Yeah.
Because that was before Twilight Princess was released back in so it was 2005, and it looked better. That graphics is better than I've actually seen games on GameCube perform.
Yeah. But because every player wanted that Zelda game, that's why they made the Twilight Princess. But then they got the Wind Waker, and it was, what the hell is this? Like this cartoonish style. I mean, it's gorgeous. I think it's gorgeous, Wind Waker. But it was so off-putting for fans at the time. When now fans embrace it, But so that's I think the Twilight Princess is like a fan reaction almost by the developers that they really want this darker Zelda game. So So they listen to fans, listen to the players sometimes.
Let's hope they listen to players about the echoes of wisdom as well.
Yeah, hopefully.
Hopefully. Yeah. Do you have any games besides the Switch, like game releases you're looking forward to this year?
Not often when I think about it, but Snake Eater, so Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah, that's my number one also. Snake Eater, the original, is my all-time favorite game ever, so I'm really looking forward to the re-release. Because they're keeping everything, the voice acting, everything. They're just like updating. Graphics looks incredible, and the controls are more like in the 5th game, Phantom Pain, what you can do with Snake, and it looks incredible in the Unreal Engine. So yeah, just give me.
That's a remaster,
remake.
Yeah, it's a remake. Yeah. But I think the environments, everything is the same. It just looks like almost photoreal now, and you have like this new all the abilities you can do to solve, sneaking around the guards and everything, but same story, same voice acting. They're keeping the voice acting, but I know some of the actors have been recording new lines for the new game as well. So oh yeah, that would be amazing.
Awesome. Any games that you were thinking about?
I have a small list, but two on top of my mind, but we don't know if they will be released in 2025 or not. They were revealed at Games Awards 2023, the Midnight Walk. So not much, don't know much about the gameplay itself, but it's made, all the models are made with claymation. So it looks, it's really interesting, just graphics wise. See what they can do with that. I love the idea.
Does it have like sort of stop motion feel to the animation, or just look like clay characters?
So they are made in clay.
They are made in clay.
And then they have, I think, if I remember correctly, they made them in clay and scanned them. To use the scan as assets in the game.
Oh, that's
instead
so cool.
of making the model.
You got me thinking about this like Super Nintendo game Clay Fighters, where you were like clay characters fighting like the Street Fighter game or something like that. Oh, but that's cool. I thought about another game. I think it's next year we're getting Death Stranding 2 by Hideo Kojima as well. We're getting a sequel. And I know one of the characters have like a doll friend, like this small wooden doll, and they've animated that in stop motion basically. It's made on a computer, of course, but they're taking away some of the frames. So when this character moves, it looks like this stop motion sort of. It's such a cool idea. Such a cool idea. And I'm hoping the second game is better than the first game. I love Hideo Kojima and his world, but it was too much just walking around in the first game and traversing and this depressing world. I'm hoping for some more variation in the new one.
Yeah. There was this one game that I just figured out. I've just looked at a thumbnail of a YouTube video from the trailer, but I remembered I liked those games, Ninja Gaiden, the reboot game, so to speak. And so there's this fourth one in the entry, because the third one was just trash. The first two was good, but the first one from the original Xbox was amazing. It's a real-time fighter in the 3D environment. It's just so amazing.
Yeah.
So there's that.
I'm also looking. I don't think it's next year, but they had like this showcase for Game Awards. Capcom is making another Onimusha game. That's very cool. Like the original, I had the first one on PS2. What is basically like Resident Evil, but with samurais instead and magic and stuff. So they're making a new one with the Resident Evil engine. It looks incredible. All Capcom games today looks incredible. So that one I'm looking forward to. And it's not the extra, I think, but we're finally getting an Okami sequel. The first Okami game with this white wolf and you're painting spells and painting. It also had that like Zelda feel to it, like this open world and all made in this stylish way, like a moving painting. And I'm really looking forward to the second one. The first one ends on a cliffhanger, basically. And that was like 20 years ago or something. So we're finally getting a new Okami game. I'm really looking forward to it. But I don't think it's next year. It's going to be a couple of years still. But, so yeah.
Nice.
And then we have the game that of course won at the Game Awards, most anticipated game, GTA 6. That's, they say that it will be released in 2025 at least, and it feels like they're pretty certain.
Here's hoping. Let's see what happens.
It was like 12 years in the making or so? I believe like 2013 was around the time when
it must be something
the
like
fifth
that.
one was released the first time.
Wasn't the fifth one released on the Xbox 360.
Yeah, 360 and the PS3.
Yeah, PS3. Oh yeah, I remember that. I bought that collector's edition on PS3, and then they re-released on 4. Is it on 5?
Yeah.
With better graphics.
Also re-released.
Yeah, but that's a whole like economy on itself, because the online mode and what you can do online. I'm not so much into that. I play more game for even GTA for like the story and like the characters and the feel of the world, like this, almost like this gangster movie in a way. The 4th one is my favorite still, but. Yeah, 6 looks very good from the trailers, like so realistic, like this.
Wasn't there a female protagonist in it? Because I
think
remember
so. Yeah,
hearing people, of course, for some reason, some people are very against having a female protagonist. There's always someone's always gonna get butthurt. I think it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
but
true.
you have both male and female characters in it. Play how you want. Come on, like it's
True.
And then something I'm looking forward to a lot: Sid Meier's Civilization 7.
Oh, you play those games?
They, sorry?
You've played those games?
Oh yes, I played all of the mainline Civilization games. I don't know how many hours I put into Civilization 5. It's amazing.
enough to build your own civilization, basically.
Yeah. So when they are releasing in February, I think, Civilization 7.
That's
close.
Yeah. They're very special kind. You have to be very patient in those games, especially if you run on the like epic. When you select the how fast the time elapses.
Oh yeah.
Epic setting. We say it's at least 24 hours of gaming before you get to the modern era.
Okay.
So they're really amazing.
Cool. I have never played them, but I know they're big. I have a big fan following, and like so. Yeah, that's cool.
And probably the one I am looking forward to the most, Ghost of Yotai. The sequel to Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah, we're getting that next year already. Nice. Oh yeah, I love Ghost of Tsushima. I couldn't put it down until I took the platinum in it. I thought it was so good.
It was amazing.
Because I always, like I said, I played this Onimusha on PS2, but I always wanted like this old Japanese style game, but without the sort of like fantasy element to it. Always like some demons or dragons or like, why can't they make a more at least realistic sort of gritty samurai game or something like that? I grew up a lot with Kurosawa movies, so I was like in heaven when they released Ghost of Tsushima, and it actually have a Kurosawa mode, filter. So you have like this mono sound, and you have like this black and white, and you have these scrapes on the film. Like it's such a cool filter and idea. So you can play the whole game as a Kurosawa movie if you want to.
Nice.
It was such well-developed characters.
Yeah.
We have to have, is it Jin?
Yeah.
But he has to grapple with the fact that, I am a samurai. He's really a samurai to the core. But when he starts to have to step away from the samurai tenets and start assassinating people, his like internal conflict about this, it's a really, really well-made character. And the supporting cast as well. So
just traveling by horse over the fields, the feeling of that, and graphics, especially on PS5, looks incredible. It's
it's one of those games that you don't really feel the need for fast travel.
No.
It's because it's so fun exploring, and the environments are so beautiful.
Yeah, definitely. Plus, I remember from that game how it was, you need to discover the map, and it's like a very narrow space. So it's like I just rode back and forth into the same area just for the sake of map coverage.
And the guiding wind
that
comes when you are close to something. There's just a gust of wind. Just a little hint. So maybe check this direction.
It's such a smart thing. And I think you also had like foxes or something. Like you could chase to secrets, and it's such a smart way, not just having this icon, follow the icon to that place.
Exactly.
Such a fresh take on it. So
it was really, really amazing. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. That's supposed to take place 300 years after Tsushima, so it's the early 20th century, early 1900s. Was the start of the fall of the samurai, so I would say. Me not being a historian, don't really know how to put it. So that would be really amazing. And now that it's actually made for PS5, unlike Tsushima, that's made for PS4 and upgraded to PS5. It would be really, really amazing.
Definitely.
And Josef Fares, guy behind It Takes Two's new game, Split Fiction. Have you heard of it?
I heard of it, but I haven't really seen anything about it.
It's basically, I haven't seen much about it either. I think it revealed it at Game Awards 2024. It's two authors, one who writes fantasy and one who writes science fiction, who, nobody get mad if I'm wrong, but if I've understood it, they get caught in their respective world and have to work together to get out of it and jump between the sci-fi and fantasy world.
That rings a bell.
That's a very fun idea.
And it looks really, really cool. It looks really good.
I have to play that. That sounds like a very good idea.
And I think it was the first half of 2025 that it's released. My only fear is that it will be like It Takes Two, that you have to be two players. Because my wife are not interested at all in video games. She plays Candy Crush. That's her level of gaming.
Well, okay, sure.
So one of you have to come visit me for a weekend so we can play it.
Sure. Let's do that. It seems so fun.
Absolutely.
Are there any more games on your list?
Death Stranding 2, we've touched it. And Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
Like an old Wii game, I believe, isn't it? No, 3DS maybe. Something like that.
I think 3DS or Wii, I'm not sure which one. But what surprised me is that it will be released on PS5 and Xbox and PC as well, and not only Switch.
What?
That is surprising.
According to the website I looked up.
That's crazy.
First time ever.
That's the first time
that
ever.
That would be really cool. If it's true, it would be really, really cool.
See what happens. Well, Nintendo is like so holy with their IPs,
exactly.
with their characters.
I wouldn't be surprised if the website I looked at is wrong.
We have to see, because you have certain time you hear more working closer, Nintendo working closer with Microsoft and stuff like that. So maybe expanding the library, maybe to different the PC and such. We'll see.
It would be really cool if they. Realize
that's a first,
that people want to play Donkey Kong even if they don't have a Switch or Switch.
Exactly, it would open up so many doors.
And just having games, for example, as we said, like Metroid Prime, playing that with mouse and keyboard, like so many players probably want, just be able to do that if they. But Nintendo, we'll see what happens.
Exactly.
And I found some games that I don't know if I'm interested in them really, but I think maybe you or our listeners might be. A new Monster Hunter game is coming, Monster Hunter Wilds.
Oh yeah.
I've only played the 3DS Monster Hunter game.
And me too, actually.
Really bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
But the newer ones are supposed to be very good, I think.
Because they look really amazing. They look really, really good. Maybe we should have to put them on, put Monster Hunter Wild on my 2025. A new Pokemon game, of course. Pokemon Legends C2A.
Yeah. So, heard about that one.
My prediction is that you will run around, catch monsters that you use to battle other people. I think that will be the gameplay. So I have a feeling.
Hopefully less buggy. Wasn't the last one extremely buggy on the Switch? With bugs and slowdowns and I think
it was heavily taxing on the Switch.
And I think they had reused models from older Wii games or something. They basically just took the model from the Wii game and put in the Switch game.
Copy paste.
So it was it felt like, I haven't played it, but it felt like it was very lazy.
Sounds lazy.
production of it.
Wow.
Elden Ring. Has any of you played Elden Ring or any of the Souls games?
No, I bought was it Demon Souls, the remake for PS5, the first games. I played that, but I mean, it's just not for me. With this like hard punishing gameplay. Elden Ring is supposed to be a masterpiece, and I can see that, but I'm not just into that punishing gameplay. I just don't have the patience for it.
I also bought the Demon Souls.
And I completed that.
Mine is still in plastic. I haven't opened it.
No, I actually completed. I bought I built a character that was good. I found a guide for it online, so it was a good starting character. So I'd actually completed it several times because it gets harder. You keep your character, but it gets harder and harder. But then no, I'm done. I don't have the patience for it, or just no, I just don't. But I know it's a masterpiece, Elden Ring, but I just haven't gotten time to do it. Maybe when I'm retired in 25 years or something like that, I will have too much time. But as of now, no.
Because they are apparently getting an expansion, I think, Elden Ring Night Rain.
Yeah, that's true.
What do you think? Speaking of Elden Ring, the DLC was nominated for Game of the Year.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
It should have won DLC of the year.
Exactly.
Yeah, but because it has a DLC category, the Game Awards. Does it have that?
I don't know.
I don't
It doesn't
think
seem like that.
I'm not
it doesn't
sure.
have it.
I don't think
but
so.
It should be its own category, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it won, I think, Game of the Year when it was released. Elden Ring, I think,
Yeah,
Game of the Year.
2022.
Yeah, a couple of years ago. So I think you should have it because DLC can be amazing. Speaking of The Witcher, like Blood and Wine, Hearts of Stone, like really good DLC. Just enriches the original game. So I think you should have it as a separate category. I don't think it's fair to other games if you just release a very good DLC and
I think I agree. It's weird that a DLC
can
considered
get
Game of the Year.
I think so. Even if it's extremely well made, because I think it takes 50 hours or something to complete it, not even more. But if the original has one already, I think it's like, come on.
Yeah, exactly.
Could we wrap this up, maybe?
Yes, we can.
Absolutely, John. Absolutely. Yeah. Time flies when you talk video games.
Exactly.
Yeah, exactly what happened. Like watching the watch, and it's like, oh, that late?
We run. It was an interesting episode. There's a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Definitely. It was amazing as always.
Yeah.
Lots of predictions for this year, 2025. Looking forward to some more great gaming experiences. Absolutely. Okay, so thank you once again, our fans, for listening to us. What's your list? What's your favorite game for this year? What's your favorite for 2024? Comment below. It's nice to hear from you. And we'll be back during 2025 talking about different game topics as well. So stay tuned for that. John, did you want to add anything?
No, you just pretty much covered it.
Okay. Talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.